Welcome to Hanging Out with Blue Ridge Betty. I'm so glad you could join us today. We are going to be churning some butter. This is something I just recently learned, and you guys, it is so easy and it is so worth it. But before we get started, I am not this time going to forget to put on my apron. The last time I churned butter, I didn't put on an apron, and it ended up all over my nice new sweatshirt, and I was not happy about that. So I want to remember to put on the apron. So I'm going to be using the Kilner Butter Churner. This is something, again, that I just discovered, and it is amazing, so easy. We're going to set it down. We're going to take this lid off, and I'm going to pour in. This is heavy whipping cream, the kind you just get at your local grocery store. Whatever you can find on sale works. And then you let this set out for about 2 hours so you can get to room temperature. So I'm going to pour some of that into our butter churner. It's been sitting out for a couple hours now. And there we go. You don't want to fill it up all the way to the top, about halfway. And put in our churner. And now the fun part starts. All you're going to do is set for about the next 5 to 10 minutes and churn. Okay, so we've been stirring this about 10 minutes. It is getting harder and harder to churn. And you can see the butter's starting to kind of gather there up on the sides. But you keep churning, because what you're doing when you're churning butter is you're trying to separate the fat from the cream. And so we're trying to get that fat and the milk separated. So basically what you end up having in the end is more of like a skim milk. In fact, see, it's getting easier to turn now. That means we're done. So let's take this out and show you what's, ooh, look at that. Wonderful butter. Oh gosh. Okay, so we have our ice water ready to put this butter into. I'm going to set this down for right now. We'll come back to that in a minute. I'm going to get that in there. Look inside the jar. You can see the butter and the milk. See how it's nicely separated? So what we're going to do now is I'm going to take this jar, I'm going to pour this milk in it. And I've heard people say, you know, can you drink that milk? Oh my gosh, not only can you, but you should. This is wonderful milk to drink. It's wonderful to use in recipes. Get you some Oreo cookies. Dip it in here. Okay, got every last bit drop out. Now, the next thing we're going to do is I'm going to bring my ice water over. So here comes the ice water. And you can see I've had some ice in here and it's kind of melting because I don't want a lot of big chunks of ice. But what we're going to do now is we're going to dump all of that lovely yellow butter into the ice water. And that's going to kind of cause it to congeal up, for lack of better words, I guess. And we want to scrape all of that goodness out. There we go. Okay. Set that aside. And now I definitely want to get what I had on these beaters off, because I don't want to miss any of that. So there we go. Pull that off. Okay, now our butter is now in the ice water, and I'm going to put on some gloves. And I'm just using regular old, I guess, surgical gloves. But you can use your nice kitchen gloves, whatever you want. Just something, because you can use your hands if you want, but I kind of like to put on gloves to keep from getting all greasy. Okay, here we go. Take that out. We're going to move our butter over. I'm going to scoot that over. And I'm going to get the paper towels. Okay. Now we're just going to put our gloved hands down into the butter. And what we want to do is just squeeze all that water out. You don't want to have any of that water left in it, or any of that milk left in it. You want to just get all of that butter fat. Ooh, that looks so good. And now, just to make sure that it's not wet, I'm going to bring it over here and set it on this paper towel and just kind of wrap it up and give it another little squeeze. There we go. And then I'm going to open this back up, and you can put whatever you want on your butter. Some people like salt, some people like garlic, some people like garlic and salt. Oh, there's a little piece of ice. We don't want that in there. Some people like garlic and salt. You can do whatever you want to with it. I'm going to take these gloves off now. Done with those. And we're going to take this little bit of salt, spoon. You might even like to have some, this might be a good time too to add a little honey or a little like cinnamon and sugar, whatever. Just think about how you're going to eat your butter. And I am putting it on the top. There we go. Now I'm going to take this, I'm going to kind of just blend it in, mix it in. So let me get this paper towel out of the way. All right, so we're just kind of blending it in. Spatula, getting that salt down in there. There we go. I made some butter a few weeks ago that had garlic in it, and I forgot to tell my mother-in-law when I gave it to her, and she ended up eating it in her oatmeal and was surprised to find that her oatmeal tasted like garlic. Okay, last thing we're going to do is we're going to pick up this butter with these butter boards, and we're going to, I guess that's what you call them, and we're just going to kind of make sure that we have all of the liquid out. And I think we do. So we've got the salt in, the liquid out, and we're ready for the next step, which is to take some parchment paper. Love parchment paper. It's so good for so many things. And then you're going to take your butter and just scooch it out onto the parchment paper. You do that. You can actually take this, get your spatula, and kind of get it set up here. Oh gosh, that looks good. That is going to taste so good on that sourdough bread that I have rosin in my oven right now. So we're going to do that. Wrap this up. And there you have a beautiful lump of butter. Let me put this out here so you can get a great look at it. That is going to be so good, you guys. Thanks for hanging out with Blue Ridge Betty. Don't forget to like us, subscribe, and click the notification bell so you won't miss a single episode. See you next time.
Action.
So sometimes you get a little messy making butter. So probably should have had on a nice apron.